Today's tutorial is for the last in my scrap busting series. I hope to do more of these later. For this one, I'm sewing up one of my favorite patterns. I have made this so many times. I've taught it in person so many times. Not because it's just this amazing pattern, but because it's so cute and quick, and I feel like it's a really beginner-friendly pattern. I do a lot of things differently than the pattern does. I basically use the pattern only for the pieces, and then I pretty much do everything the way I want to do it myself. You can follow the pattern exactly, or you can follow this version, or you can make your own ways to do this. This pattern's very versatile pattern. It just has good bones so that you can create however you want. I'll leave the link for the pattern in my description, but this is the Brooklyn from the Folk Art Factory. This is actually the same designer from the pattern that I released on Saturday. So we are going to be binding this bag. So we have a traditional zipper gusset. I have 4 zipper panels, 2 exterior, 2 lining, a piece of zipper tape, and then the base or bottom pieces in 1 exterior, 1 lining. I'll also have some crossbody connectors and 2 zipper pulls. I'm going to have 6 pieces of this shape right here. I'm going to have 2 exterior pieces and then 4 lining pieces. I'm also going to be adding 3 slip pockets, 1 on the back, so 1 exterior piece, and then 2 on the inside for 2 lining slip pockets. So you can see how tall I cut this piece, and then all I do is fold it in half. So if you want your slip pockets taller than this, just cut yours longer than I cut mine. No real measurement here. It's just whatever your preference is. Sometimes I'll have them kind of higher up. Since I'm using scraps, I was kind of limited on how much I have, and this is really pretty much the only piece I had left of this print, and I wanted it to be in the same print as the exterior. My print is on pre-order right now. This is from the Emporium. This is my favorite print from the pre-order she's running right now. I was able to place my order last night because I'm officially out of my no buy January. I didn't make it through the month of January without buying things, but I didn't make any big purchases like I did last night on Brittany's pre-order. I chose to get this print in a cotton lycra. I'm really enjoying learning how to use my serger and to make clothes. And that is kind of my favorite thing to do right now, so I really wanted this print to make some clothes with it. But for the slip pocket, for the exterior and the linings, all I did was fold it wrong sides together. And then you can add some clips to that, or you can take it over the iron and press it flat. The first thing I want to do to get this pattern started is I'm going to top stitch along the folded edge of all of my slip pocket pieces and attach them to the pieces they're going to go on. So 1 exterior back piece and then my 2 lining pieces. Once you have the 3 slip pockets made, pull out 1 exterior back piece and 2 lining pieces. If you don't like to use slip pockets in your bag, you definitely don't have to do this. You can leave that off. It's not a requirement, of course. It's just what I like to do because I love having slip pockets in bags. So I just rough cut my pieces. You can see there's overhang. Doesn't bother me. I'll trim that up later. What I am going to do though is I'm going to clip each one of these on, and then the ones that had the overhang, all I have to do is flip it over to sew from the back side, so I don't have to worry about that overhang getting in my way. Just going to sew 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Come to the back and trim up that overhang now. And this is how that first slip pocket looks. All of my prints today are a cotton woven. Everything has just 1 layer of a SF-101 on it. So that's your medium weight interfacing. If you wanted more structure, you could do that, but I would definitely keep anything extra you added out of the seam allowance because we are building on this and it's going to be a very small bind. Like you can see, we got some tight curves here. So if you have a lot more bulk, it's just going to be a little bit trickier. So I suggest for your first one, not adding a lot of stabilizer. And then if you feel like it's just not sturdy enough for you, you could always add more to the next one. But personally, I feel like with these layers being stacked together and then the binding at the end, it's perfect for the amount of stabilizer I would want in the bag. I'm going to go ahead and add the slip pockets to the other pieces, and then we will get started on the zipper pockets. So I made the slip pockets for the 2 lining pieces, the 1 exterior. Pretty simple way to do it. The zipper pocket is the first big way that I differ from the pattern. The pattern has a zipper pocket only being able to be used from the bottom down. I want a full zipper pocket, and so I do mine a little differently. I cut out the 6 pieces. So the way I start mine for the zipper pocket is I have this 1 exterior piece, and then I take 1 lining piece. I lay those on top of each other, and then I decide where I want my zipper to go. If I have a print with a design, I kind of try to keep that in mind. So for this one, I'm going to have my zipper right here so I can still get this fox pretty okay. Hopefully I won't cut off too much of the top of the ear. I could have done it lower, but I didn't want to do it that low. I didn't want to go too high because then I felt like I was getting in the curve. So how do I decide where I'm going to make this zipper pocket? It depends on my material, honestly. So what I do is I draw a line once I decide, and then I have both of these stacked. So 1 lining, 1 exterior, and then I cut across that line that I drew. Now I'm able to make just a traditional zipper pocket with these pieces. Then I'll lay it on this lining piece so whenever I open my zipper, this is what I see. Now that I have those 2 pieces, I take that piece of zipper tape and I just place it right sides down on the exterior piece. After we clip the zipper tape to the exterior, you can choose to baste that in place, or if you want, you can go ahead and add your lining. So it's just like a traditional zipper sandwich. Lots of the time I baste first, but with this one, it's not a really big area you're sewing across, so I feel very comfortable being able to keep those 3 layers in line while I go across there. Back stitch when you start and stop. There is how that looks. Flip that so that the pieces are wrong sides together, and then go ahead and top stitch just like you typically would along that folded edge. I did a great job of figuring out my cut because I didn't lose any of this fox, which was my main thing. I wanted to keep this guy right here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 top pieces and I'm going to have it orientated the way I want it to go, so make sure that it's all in line, and then I just flip it so that it is right sides together with that zipper tape. Clip along the top and then add the lining on the other side. So here is the lining. Flip that piece down, add it, and then let's sew one more time and then top stitch one more time. Add your zipper pull onto here. I want my zipper closing to the left, so that is the way I'm going to add it. Once you have your zipper pull on, take this other lining piece, have it right sides up, and put it right sides together with this lining. Now I'm just going to baste all around this. I'll go off camera and I'll trim up the zipper tape here, and then I'll pull out all these pieces and that they all match up and are all the same size. So we're down to our gusset piece. I do want to note that I add a 1/2 inch to this base piece. I find that the gusset is a little tight for me. Yours might not be the same way, but that is what I do. So we're going to start with our 2 zipper pieces, 1 exterior, 1 lining. I'm going to have the lining right sides up, and I'm going to place that zipper tape right on top. On this step, I will do just that traditional baste because I do feel like with a zipper gusset, there is more chance of things slipping where it is a longer sew. So just 1/8 inch away. There's the lining gusset onto the zipper. Take your exterior, have it going in the direction you want the end. Match up your short ends and this long side. Make sure everything looks neat before you start sewing, and then sew with the seam allowance given in the pattern. Go ahead and pull these 2 pieces apart. I'm going to go ahead and baste along that raw edge first, so the unsewn edge first. There's how that first side looks. I'm going to repeat those same steps for this other side so that I can have both of the zipper panels attached to the zipper tape. And then I'll also add my zipper pull off camera, and then we'll come back and add the D-rings and this base gusset piece. I have both sides of the zipper panel attached to the zipper, added the zipper pull, and then I trimmed it down and went ahead and clipped on my 2 crossbody D-rings. So I have them clipped so that they're centered on the zipper tape. I'm using 3/4 of an inch hardware because I feel like that fits really nicely. And I'm just going to baste both of those in place before I add the bottom piece for the gusset. So now that I have those basted on, I take my exterior piece and I'm just going to lay it right sides together with the zipper panels. So go ahead and take that exterior gusset base piece and clip it onto the zipper tape. Take your lining piece and clip it right sides together with the lining. Again, this is another place where I just sew it all together since it's not a very long area. I make sure that everything's lining up all the way down so that it's not being clipped on unevenly. I'm going to sew with the seam on skin the pattern. Just be careful if your hardware's close that it's pulled up, like the hardware is going towards the top instead of being down here and getting hit by your needle. Once you have that sewn, go ahead and flip these 2 pieces apart, pull them wrong sides together, and then we're going to top stitch. So you're actually top stitching on the base, not on the zipper panel. Once you have that top stitch, take your exterior piece and pull it all the way down to the other side of the exterior, clip into place there. You should have that lining still hanging free. Take it, place it right sides together with the lining, and so that it'll be clipped together. So you'll have the exterior, the zipper panels, and the lining base pieces all clipped together. Make sure everything's looking straight. So again, be mindful of the hardware, making sure it is flipped up one more time. Now you've created a tube, so let's go ahead and flip this out so that you're looking at the right side. What I like to do is to be looking at the area where I top stitched on the base piece already, and then I start sewing down here, sew all the way down, then go across, then come back up. I want to make sure everything stays in line. This step I feel like I need to sew a little slowly, because if not, I feel like they will get out of line. So I just kind of constantly making sure I'm sewing through both layers. Here we are at that base piece where we're going to cross over. And now we're going to go back down the other side. If you have any overhang on your base pieces, trim that up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to trim up mine just a little. I have just a little bit, maybe a 1/16 of an inch. So I'll trim that up, and then I'm going to mark my quarter marks on this gusset piece. So before we add the gusset to the bag, let's go ahead and add the exterior to the lining piece. So we're going to put those 2 pieces wrong sides together, and then we're going to baste all around with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Now at this point, you will go ahead and do the same thing for your front, and then you should have a back lining exterior and a front lining exterior too. So you'll have 2 pieces that you will add to your gusset. So I have the gusset clipped right sides together with my front exterior. If you remember, I added a 1/2 of an inch to my gusset base piece to give myself a little bit more room. I can see where some people would be like, no, that gusset is too big. You need a tighter gusset and to snip into the corners. So maybe leave it the same way. Don't add the 1/2 inch, but maybe just plan on having to clip in all the corners to really get a snug fit. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to baste all around here. I always baste my gusset on first, and then I come back in with the full seam allowance and do the binding. So here's how that looks. You can see there is a little bit of the puckering down here. I know that's because my gusset is a little bit looser. So it is what it is. I wanted to try and see, but probably will go back to that original measurement and just clip in the corners, spread them out, and just fight with it. You just have to use your hemostats to kind of pull around the corners to keep them in line. So wanted to try this, but yeah, probably be better that original measurement. So here it is from the front, here it is from the back. You can use single fold binding, which I just demonstrated in the video before this one, or you could use the waterproof canvas or ribbon where you just wrap it around. Whichever way you prefer to do. I'm not going to show the binding on camera. I want this video just to be a quick to the point video. So I'm going to go off camera, add the binding, add the other side, bind it, and then we'll come back and just look at the finished bag. So even though I messed up the gusset a little bit by adding an extra ½ inch, and you can see that result where it's kind of puffy and not fitting well, so definitely don't do that. Keep it that measurement and then just clip into your curves a little so it fits really nicely. Even though I did that, it still is so cute. This pattern comes together so quick and has a lot of ways to, I feel, customize it. And it's a great size crossbody, especially if you're someone that doesn't like to carry a lot of stuff, or if you're making this for a younger child. Look at how small this is. It's about the size of my hand. Here is the back. Have a slip pocket there. This is where I will keep my phone, or even a water bottle will fit in there. Let's open it up. I chose to only use one zipper on this one. You can see the opening is wide. Everything is snug in there. You have 2 slip pockets for organization. You have a zipper pocket on the front. It's just a great pattern. It's a great bag. It's the perfect shape for me. In my opinion, this is the perfect shape. Now for the crossbody strap, I'm not going to do one on camera. Just make a simple crossbody strap. I have plenty of tutorials on my channel with webbing if you want to make it really quick. I think this is a great item to batch sew and make a bunch of them for craft shows or any kind of fairs or vendor events you do, because you can make a lot of these. You're not using a lot of materials. They come together quickly, in my opinion. The binding, I know a lot of people don't like binding, but I don't feel like it adds that much time to it. And then you can sell these at a profit since you're not having a lot of materials or time in them. Thank you so much for watching the last video in my scrap busting series. This is the Brooklyn crossbody. The fabric that I used is from the Emporium. It is on pre-order now. This pre-order, I think, closes on February the 7th. There is 4 different bases. You can get the print in cotton lycra, cotton woven, waterproof cotton, and smooth vinyl. Brittany does not order a lot of retail, so if you want a print, you really do have to pre-order. I got my order in yesterday, so I am good. I will have a link for her pre-order and a link for the pattern in my description. Thank you so much for watching this video today, and let me know if you have any questions or anything you'd like to see me do a tutorial on. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.